The Pittsburgh Steelers announced signing UFL edge rusher Kenny Willekes and waiving offensive tackle Gareth Warren on Tuesday. The Pittsburgh Steelers could have one of the best edge rushing groups in the NFL again during 2025. On Tuesday, they added to that unit, signing Kenny Willekes. The Steelers announced inking the UFL star edge rusher to a contract Tuesday morning. To make room for Willekes on the 90-man roster, the Steelers also waived/injured offensive tackle Gareth Warren. UFL insider James Larson first reported the Steelers signing Willekes, who was one of the top edge rushers in the UFL for the Michigan Panthers in 2024 and 2025. The Steelers are adding Willekes 1 week before NFL teams must reduce their rosters to 53 players. The league's roster cutdown day is August 26, with the deadline set at 4 p.m. Eastern Time to cut the rosters from 90 to 53 players. Pittsburgh will conclude the 2025 preseason schedule against the Carolina Panthers on Thursday. What edge rusher Kenny Willekes could bring to Steelers? The 28-year-old edge rusher has been in professional football for more than half a decade. The Minnesota Vikings drafted Willekes at number 225 overall in the 7th round of the 2020 NFL Draft. He made his NFL regular season debut with the Vikings in 2021. During that season, he posted 18 combined tackles, including 2 tackles for loss and 7 quarterback hits in 6 games. He also had 2.5 sacks and 1 pass defense while playing 202 defensive snaps. But Willekes hasn't appeared in an NFL regular season game since 2021. Before signing with the Steelers, the last time he was on an NFL roster was with the Vikings in May 2023. Over 9 games for the Panthers in the UFL this past season, he registered 3.5 sacks and 31 total tackles. Willekes had 4 sacks in 9 games during the 2024 UFL season. Willekes played college football at Michigan State from 2016 to 19. As a junior, he led the Big Ten with 21 tackles for loss and posted 10.5 sacks during his senior season. At the 2020 NFL Combine, Willekes showcased his strength with 32 reps on the bench press. He also ran the 40-yard dash in 4.87 seconds. Steelers edge rushing depth entering Week 3 of NFL preseason. As is the case with any player added this late in the preseason, it's going to be difficult for Willekes to make Pittsburgh's 53-man roster. The Steelers are rather set at edge rusher too. TJ Watt, Alex Highsmith, and Nick Herbig are once again projected to be the team's top 3 players along the edge. Those 3 players might be the best trio of edge defenders in the NFL. In the 2025 NFL Draft, the Steelers added outside linebacker Jack Sawyer at number 123 overall in the 4th round. On the team's latest depth chart, Sawyer and former third-rounder DeMarvin Leal are listed as second-team outside linebackers. NFL pundits at Bleacher Report have speculated that Leal could be a cut or trade candidate before a roster cutdown day. The Steelers also have Julius Welshoff and Iku Leota on the 90-man roster for additional edge rushing depth. It's possible the Steelers foresee resting more of their top edge rushers in Week 3 of the preseason. If that's the case, they may have added Willekes to have another edge defender available for the Panthers matchup. ESPN's Brooke Pryor suggested that could be why the Steelers signed cornerback Cam Alexander on Monday. But if he doesn't make the 53-man roster, Willekes could also be a candidate for the Steelers' practice squad. Warren was an undrafted free agent from Lindenwood this summer. The offensive lineman played 48 snaps total in Pittsburgh's first 2 preseason games. Last season, the Steelers turned to a rookie UDFA as their primary slot cornerback. After some notable additions this offseason, Beanie Bishop is not expected to start again. He is also no longer assured of a roster spot. Steelers DC Terrell Austin said, via the Pittsburgh Tribune Review's Chris Adamski, Bishop needs a standout finish to the preseason to put himself back in the picture. Being cut before year 2 would be a quick fall for Bishop, who logged 548 defensive snaps as a rookie. While Bishop lost his status as a defensive regular during the season's final month, he logged at least 20 defensive snaps in 13 of Pittsburgh's 17 games in 2024. Bishop intercepted 4 passes and broke up 7 more as a rookie. Pro Football Focus graded him in the bottom half at the position, ranking the 5'9" cover man 95th at the position. The Steelers made a blockbuster trade for Jalen Ramsey, unloading Minkah Fitzpatrick to acquire the versatile cover man. They had already added Darius Slay and Brandon Eccles. The latter has spent most of his career on the boundary, but did log 112 slot snaps in 2023. Ramsey has been one of this era's top perimeter corners, but he has garnered increased slot usage over the past 5 years. Ramsey has played at least 169 slot snaps in 4 of the past 5 seasons, being regularly used at the Rams' star position. A configuration in which Ramsey plays inside while Slay and Joey Porter Jr. work near the boundary makes sense for the Steelers. Bishop has primarily lined up with the Steelers' second-team defense during training camp, Adamski adds. 7th-round pick Dante Kent also factors into the Steelers' Bishop decision, with the competition for spots fiercer than it was at this time last year, when Cameron Sutton was facing an 8-game suspension to open the season. The team also has some decisions to make at wide receiver. The Steelers have faced consistent questions about their post-George Pickens plan opposite DK Metcalf, but they have hosted Gabe Davis on 2 visits now, the second coming today. The team also has Roman Wilson back after a lost rookie season, and the Athletic's Mike DeFabwa notes Scotty Miller, an Arthur Smith charge in Atlanta, has been one of Aaron Rodgers' favorite targets during camp. These developments move Robert Woods toward Pittsburgh's roster bubble, DeFabwa adds. Despite Woods' accomplishments during a 12-year career, he played deep into the 4th quarter in the Steelers' second preseason game. The Steelers gave Woods 20 catches, 203 yards last season, a 1-year, $2 million deal, but only guaranteed him $745,000, lessening the dead money blow in the event he is cut by the August 26th deadline. The Pittsburgh Steelers are full steam ahead with the Aaron Rodgers project for the 2025 season, but the front office is likely hard at work trying to figure out what the plan is going to be once the future Hall of Famer quarterback retires. The Indianapolis Colts may have thrown the Steelers a major bone on Tuesday morning, as they decided to essentially bring an end to the Anthony Richardson era when Shane Steichen declared former New York Giants bust Daniel Jones as the team's Week 1 starting quarterback. Richardson will likely have suitors on the open market, as his incredibly strong arm and physical tools, coupled with the fact that he remains relatively untapped in terms of his long-term potential, could create quite a healthy collection of suitors. The Steelers have more than enough picks to send Indianapolis' way in order to secure a trade for number 5. The Steelers could give up a few late-round picks to Indianapolis, buy low on Richardson, and possibly strike gold as they try to find a replacement for Rodgers after the 2025 season. This Steelers-Colts trade brings quarterback Anthony Richardson to Pittsburgh. Richardson is barely completing over 50% of his passes and has more interceptions and passing touchdowns in his career, but this was expected due to how raw of a prospect he was at Florida. While it feels like he's been put through the ringer in the pros, he is still just 23 years old, which puts him on par with some of the top prospects in the 2026 QB class. Richardson has one of the strongest arms in the NFL, and his 4.4 140-yard dash shows up on film. While he has some issues with diagnosing defenses pre-snap, he has a penchant for pulling off incredibly impressive throws deep down the field. Think of him as Justin Fields, albeit less accurate and a bit thicker. If Rodgers lives up to expectations, Pittsburgh is likely not going to have a high enough draft pick to replace him with one of the top players in the 2026 class. Richardson will also be going to Arthur Smith, who has made quite a career out of designing offenses that can take advantage of mobile quarterbacks. Richardson is a risk, and it could blow up in Pittsburgh's face like it did with Indianapolis, but the sky-high talent ceiling that Richardson's abilities offer him could be reached with the right coaching around him.